Welcome to Where It Takes Us on our latest route. In this guide, we're doing something a little different as we follow the course of the Wrington Light Railway from the air. As we fly the area, we still aim to show you what you might see and the history of the line. Today, we're in Blagdon, North Somerset, so let's see where it takes us. Don't forget to like us, subscribe to our channel and check back for more routes soon. The route starts here at Blagdon Reservoir. Use what three words, Shields, Ammackby, Mistress, for our exact location. Hidden among the fields and villages of North Somerset, the Wrington Light Railway was once a vital artery for rural life. Today there's little left but memories and a few scattered remains, yet the story of this branch line offers a fascinating glimpse into a different era. Today not much remains of the old Wrington line. A few station buildings have been turned into private homes, like this one at Blagdon, and stretches of the old track bed now serve as footpaths and bridleways. But if you know what you're looking for, a bend in a field, the crumbling edge of a platform, the memory shared by long-time locals, you can still pick out its faded path. As we fly the drone along the route, the railway's course becomes even clearer. Subtle lines in the grass, hedgerows that don't quite fit, and faint scars left by the line that once carved through the countryside.
I'm not chasing it. Whatever tomorrow's gonna hold, I'll find my way. I've been spending so much time swimming up against the tide. Wherever the wind blows, I know it's better than where I've been. Wherever the wind blows, I'll go. I'm not chasing it. Whatever tomorrow's gonna hold, I'll find my way.
Let's travel the line from the air as it ran from Blagdon to Congresbury. We begin at Blagdon, once a closed terminus with regular passenger service. The station had a small goods yard tucked behind it, sidings for livestock, and a terminal head shunt. For decades, this was the village's hub. Excursion trains, fairs, and even the annual Blagdon show revolved around the station. Even after regular passengers stopped coming, Blagdon wasn't quite done. From 1935 to 1939, a GWR camp coach was located here. Holidaymakers came in on the slow goods trains from Wrington to spend hot summers by Blagdon Lake. Our drone now passes the site of the old Blagdon station. The building still stands. It's now a private home. In its heyday, this spot hummed with life. Workers hauling milk churns and crates, the air thick with the hiss of steam. You can almost picture the trains rolling in, wagons stacked with the stone and brick that, piece by piece, built the dam that filled the reservoir. Here's a bit you might not notice at first glance. Without the railway, building Blagdon Lake would have been just about impossible. When work started in 1898, the railway became the valley's lifeline. Trains hauled in everything the engineers needed. Pipes, pumps, bricks, even the workers themselves. Roads here were narrow, muddy and slow. With the tracks in place, supplies arrived on time and the scale of the work could finally match Bristol's growing thirst. So, while the lake seems peaceful today, it was once alive with the clatter and steam of trains, turning a remote valley into one of the region's most vital reservoirs. Above the lake, we take in the sweep of water and hills. Blagdon Lake stands as a monument to Victorian engineering, but it's also a quiet memorial to the railway that powered its creation. The trains are gone, replaced by walkers and birds. but the legacy of those Victorian engineers and the workers is written into the landscape and the lake itself. We now head back to the junction and follow the old line's ghostly trace. A curve in the grass, a hedgerow that doesn't quite fit the field, and the subtle marks of a railway long gone. We're bound for Barrington as the line loops through the valley. Wrington Light Railway opened in December 1901. Built under the Light Railways Act to carry milk, stone and people to the main line at Congresbury. The law allowed cheaper, lighter construction, so the railway wiggles through the landscape, hugging the land, dodging the steepest hills, and never quite managing a straight line for long, until it ran from the village of Wrington to Congresbury station. The line was promoted by local farmers and businessmen who wanted better access to Bristol's markets. The Great Western Railway ran the line, seeing it as a feeder for their main route between Bristol and Exeter. Construction was straightforward, but the hilly landscape meant tight curves and steep gradients, keeping speeds modest and drivers on their toes. Our next stop, Barrington Station, is nestled near the mouth of Barrington Combe. The limestone gorge drew Victorian geologists and weekend ramblers, and on sunny Saturdays the quiet platform would fill with the sounds of boots, maps and the smell of packed lunches. Mostly though, Barrington served the farms, a daily parade of milk churns, baskets and the occasional runaway pig. Ghost stories tell of a railwayman who missed his last train, haunting one of the stone bridges near Barrington Station. I have no idea if this is true, but it makes a nice bit of local folklore, not uncommon in this part of the world. Look out for the old bridge site, now filled in. Local legend says that in the floods of 1924, a local farmer's sheep blocked the line here, holding up the milk train, until half the village came out to coax it off the tracks. Leaving Barrington, we cross the fields, once the domain of steam, now the haunt of badgers, foxes and the odd deer. The line crossed the road here, under a bridge, now just a buried memory. Next is Langford Holt, right by the old A38 crossing. It was barely more than a platform and a name board, built in 1922 after local parents pushed for a safer walk to school for their kids. For decades, it was a lifeline for quarrymen, school children, and anyone with a reason to travel up or down the valley. Today, the site is marked by bluebells and brambles, a quiet reminder of a busier time. The old trackbed is a green corridor for wildlife, foxes, badgers, deer, and many bird species now roam where trains once ran. Passenger service at Langford Holt lasted until 1931, when competition from buses and cars led to the withdrawal of passenger trains on the branch. Goods traffic continued for several more years, but the Holt's platform and shelter eventually fell into disuse. Today, little remains of Langford Holt, apart from memories and the faint outline of the platform, now overgrown and reclaimed by nature. Despite its brief operational life and minimal infrastructure, Langford Holt played a crucial role in linking a small community to the wider world, embodying the spirit of rural railways that once threaded the English countryside. From Langford, the route stretches out across open farmland, heading for Wrington. You can still follow the embankment, now a green ribbon dotted with wildflowers, a favourite for local walkers and the occasional cyclist. Sometimes you'll find a chunk of rail or a rusted spike in the grass, a relic from a different age. We can't fly directly over Wrington village, as it sits inside Bristol Airport's no-fly zone for drones. We will pick up the line again from a safe spot for flying our drone just west of the village. Wrington is a village with roots deep in the Doomsday Book. For centuries, its life ebbed and flowed with the seasons: haymaking, cider presses, local fairs. The arrival of the railway changed everything. The station sat right at the village edge, at the heart of things. Children would gather in the fields to watch the trains thunder past, steam and whistle breaking up the workday. For the village, the station wasn't just a stop, it was where apples, wheat and cheese started their journey to Bristol and beyond. Cheese, cider and livestock all left Wrington in the goods van. For most, the station was where you bumped into neighbours, caught up on gossip, or watched the world go by. Farm workers and school children depended on the train, and local businesses saw their goods reach wider markets. The station tied Wrington into the wider world and brought the village itself a little closer together. But the age of the railway here was short. Passenger services ended in 1931 as cars and buses took over, and goods traffic faded after World War II. The last train ran in 1950, and the station became a private house. The goods yard and sidings vanished under grass and trees, but if you look closely, you can still spot the old platform edge, especially after a spring rain, when the outline shows through in the grass. As we head out west, the old track runs straight as an arrow before bending north to Congresbury, our last stop.
mountains closing over valley and lawn, over trees covered with snow, like the rainbow can.
The Wrington Light Railway never made much profit. Passenger numbers were always modest, and the rise of buses in the 1920s only sped up its decline. Passenger services ended in 1931, but milk and goods traffic continued through World War II, when the line even saw troop trains and evacuees bound for safety in the countryside. The very last goods train ran in 1950, watched by a few villagers who knew they were seeing the end of an era. A local person explains how the arrival of evacuees to the area brought the realities of the war, and how many locals were obliged into contributing, characteristically in their own ways, to the war effort. Country and town folk, initially mixing like oil and water.
Preparations are now well advanced for the reception of children and mothers from the areas and cities to be evacuated. And I now write these few lines to ask you to receive them as visitors and not unwelcome guests thrust upon us. Some of them may not be all that we might desire, though I feel sure our fears are exaggerated in this respect. But most people respond to kindly treatment. They are less fortunate than ourselves, or they would not be coming to us.
The Wrington Light Railway was never grand or glamorous, but it shaped these villages and remains a cherished chapter in Somerset's story. Its memory lingers in the land, the tales told in the local pub, and the quiet pride of those who remember.
Your love will carry me. I won't ask for much, 'cause I know you will always carry me. I won't ask for much, 'cause I know you will always carry me. I won't ask for much, 'cause I know your love will carry me. I won't ask for much, 'cause I know.
After closure, the track was lifted. Some of the old sleepers became garden fences, and the embankments turned into favourite playgrounds for local kids. Today, some of the route near Congresbury is a footpath, alive with wildflowers, birds, and the occasional cyclist on the Strawberry Line cycle path, retracing the old rails.
You soothe my woes when the day is done. Already lost.
At the far end, Congresbury Station was something different, a real crossroads for North Somerset's railways. Here, the Wrington branch met the main line from Yatton to Wells and Cheddar. Even before the Wrington line opened, Congresbury was busy, with trains arriving and departing in all directions, shuttling villagers, farm produce and goods across the region. The arrival of the Wrington line made Congresbury even more important, a true hub for anyone travelling between Bristol, Cheddar, Wells and the valley's villages. Market garden produce, milk and livestock could now reach Bristol and London markets while still fresh. The engine shed, the bustling goods yard, the signal box. This was a world of porters, telegrams and the ever-present scent of coal smoke. We end our flight here, where the Wrington Light Railway joins the main line from Yatton to Cheddar, known as the Strawberry Line, which is now a popular cycle route. If you've enjoyed this video, why not subscribe or give us a like? It really helps us in building this channel and adding more content. Thanks again for watching,